Now here we go with the back and forths. Cut brush, burn brush. Now we got to cut more brush that probably won't get burnt till spring. That time lapse that I put up a few days back is actually, this is where I stopped in that process. This was all this 6 months ago. And it blocked the collapsing side of the building here. The goal is to get rid of all this, which will make the city happy. Get rid of what's left here. And then get rid of all this. The kudzu, the honeysuckle, the poke greens, all of it. So I can get in to the collapse section. I'd like to get the junk out of there before end of the year, so I can start working on the roof of the shop itself. So I got to clean this side out, the other wing, and then the roof. That's 3/8 plywood on 32-inch centers. As bad as it is, I'm not getting up there. I'll go from the inside and push it off. All of it has to come off anyway, so it's not going to bother. Anyway, I better get to work. Well, as you can see, it doesn't take a lot to make a big dent in this mess. This, when we started, was all just like that. The nice thing is with honeysuckle and such, the roots are actually, spaced a fair bit apart, anywhere from 3 to 6 feet, depending on how grown up it is. So they're mostly just invasive shrubs. So when you take out the root, you make a lot of headway quick. The downside, these really aren't that tall. These are about 5 to 6 foot. So they're not too bad to deal with. The ones that were, further back, say back here, at the line where my finger's pointing, those were 12 foot tall. They are a mess. So a little more work. This will be cleared out. You can see the edge maybe you can't. If you look kind of close in here, there's a trunk from a blowover. Unfortunately, it's not solid enough to put to much use. I can't take it to a sawmill and have it planked or anything. This stuff is remains from doing the roof last year that winter creeped up on me too quick and I forgot about it. Here's another trunk. This one's fairly solid. I got a younger brother with a friend that has a sawmill. If it's solid enough, I might talk to him, see what he'd charge to run it through, get some wood out of it. Or the other alternative, it's not solid enough, well, it goes in with that 3.5 cords of firewood and just adds to it. So I'm guessing by the time I'm done, because yes, this looks nice and clear, but from that tree straight back and over all has to come out eventually. I'm thinking by the time I'm said and done, I'll have about 5 cords. So, you know, anywhere from 2 to 4 years worth of firewood for the shop. Once it gets into production, I should be able to get, 4, maybe 5 years out of the firewood between scraps and firewood. Scrap burns hot, but it burns quick. So that's where we're standing. You can see I got an iron pile going. There's going to be more iron coming out of this part of the building here soon. There's a box. That's an inner spring. And there's an old bed spring back there. Old desk chair here. A couple other chairs back there. So, yeah, there's more iron coming. Can't spend too much time in here. It's warm enough the carpenter bees are acting up. But more iron, more stuff to burn, trash to stack off to the side. It's not going to end for a while, that's for sure. Eventually I'm going to have to get a dumpster in, a big roll-off dumpster and a skid steer in here, and that's $1,000 I just don't have. So, because it's like 400 and something for the dumpster and just over 500 to rent the skid steer for a week. So, like I said, that's just money I don't have. So I gotta load it all up, and the iron load's loaded up. What can be burnt, and I can keep down on the dumpster. Unfortunately, what is roof deck now has this attached to it, which is tar paper and shingles and roll roof. That I can't burn. I can't put it in my regular garbage. That's when I have to have the dumpster. So, if anyone wants to contribute to the dumpster fund, if you want to hit the donate button over on my website, please feel free, maraaylwin.com. The link will be in the bottom. The name for the website is on the intro and outro to the channel. Just mark it. If you want your money to go to something specific, just mark it. Hey, dumpster fund or lathe fund, whatever. I'm going to try and get not really a spreadsheet, but get some information up on the website here soon about where the money is going exactly. Early funds that don't have marks, well, they go into the building itself until I get it up, and then we'll roll from there. Again, I don't like asking for money. I'm kind of in a pickle. My age keeps me from getting a job readily. I am looking at a pending divorce very soon. So I don't have a lot of choices here on how to get the money I need. No one wants to hire me because of my age. There's this area, we've got 3 different trade schools. And you see, hey, I got floor. 3 different trade schools that all crank out 8 heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration techs. And they can hire, companies can hire, $12 an hour guys right off those schools because there's too many of them. So the job market's flooded. As you can see, kind of sidestep here, we are making headway in here. I have found some floor. The junk pile is getting smaller between the wheelie bins and the burn pile. Back on what I was saying though, there's just too many young guys out there that they can hire dirt cheap. And there's enough of the older guys, like, older people. I'm not really a guy. Enough older people out there that they don't have to look for them. And they still get them at a, honestly, below national average. So it's really hard to get a job in the field. And I worked in medical for a while. I worked in a retirement home. And once you work in a retirement home, you never get over the stigma of working in elder care or medical care. Once you're there, it follows you the rest of your career. I wished I'd have known it when I took the job decades ago, honestly. I didn't. I've tried numerous times even before I retired to take care of my granddaughter. I just couldn't get out of it. They were all like, "Oh, you work there." And I got trapped. Just like now, I'm kind of trapped. So, if you have a few bucks you want to throw my way, feel like throwing my way, please. The donate buttons are all on my website. I can take Cash App, Venmo. Those are the two biggest. I can also take crypto. I know it'll do Bitcoin and Ethereum. I need to look as to what else my wallet will take. I do not take PayPal. PayPal is an interesting mess when you're trans, because unless you have your name legally changed, it will only use your legal name. And I have not done the name change yet. I probably won't until after the divorce, because it just complicates matters. So please, MaraAlwin.com. I'll leave the link in the bottom. You want your money to go to somewhere specific? I will create a spreadsheet to keep track of who donated what and where they want it. So like I said, you want it to go to the dumpster fund? Mark it dumpster. You want it to go to the skid steer? Mark it skid steer. If it's not marked, I'll assume it's just general money. If you want it to go toward the wood lathe that I'm looking at, then mark it wood lathe. Be careful, I'm wanting a wood lathe and a metal lathe, so if you want it to go to one and not the other, just make sure you mark it wood or metal and lathe. Like I said, I'll be putting up kind of my wish list on equipment here soon. I am not after, the big name brands. I'm not after Rockwell, Delta, things like that. I am willing to start with Harbor Freight, Grizzly, the more affordable options. I'm not looking at, a $10,000 metal lathe. If I could get a used one that, if I've got enough money to start looking at used, I'll start looking at used. Pricing right now, I'm just going off of new, because that I can at least know is a stable price and it's there when I'm ready. Used, it's quite honestly kind of a crapshoot in you don't know what's going to be available when. I mean, yeah, it's available right now, but will it be in a month when I have the cash? So, again, if you want it to, well, to be honest, if you want it to go toward the door, let me know. I will put it toward the door. I would love to build a steel door, but a steel door requires electricity, which we don't have. So the initial doors, my area seems not crime-ridden. I guess I'm not sure how to word it. Theft safe, I guess we could say. So I should be able to build it fairly solid out of 2x. Buying a door to fit the hole, I'm not seeing too many options, to be honest. So it'll end up built on site. Be exact, right here. Once right here is cleared to the floor. So that's it for this one. Thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. I'm not too picky. If you have comments, questions, please throw them in the comment section down here. Comments help. Doesn't matter if they're good or bad. They do help. They help boost me on the algorithm. Obviously, likes help. I'm not sure about dislikes. That's a hard one to figure out. But, hey, if you didn't like it, tell me why. We'll work on it. I'm still new at this. Like, share, subscribe. You know, I'm still almost, almost. Yeah, I've only got like 2.5 view hours as the printing of this goes up. I need 4,000 view hours, and I need 1,000 subscribers. Right now with my content, that means if I had 1,000 subscribers, everyone would have to watch the videos about twice, 2 to 3 times, all of the videos. But until I hit those 2 goal marks, Google won't share any ad revenue with me. And the ad revenue is, to be quite honest, how I'm going to fund my life. Between ad revenue and what donations come in. So, yeah, I'll stop now because I'm down to begging. I will catch y'all on the next one. See y'all later. Well, it's another cold morning. That pile here, right across here. Then hopefully I can get rid of that pile of branches and the pile that's in that mess of poke over here. And where in the world that tin pan came from. Once those are out, with any luck, I get started on this. See how long it takes to get up to the collapsed part of the building. Once I'm up to that, we can start digging into that part of the building and working on that center section a little more. But this part, I'd like to get it cleaned out before it falls in and takes the rest of the building with it. So, get moving. Hard to tell if you guys can notice, but that is a wagon load and a mow down. I basically get the big stuff out and then mow it down. It makes it look smooth quicker. Gives me a reason to not stand here and go, ugh, what have I been doing all this time and not seeing any results? So, kind of a little trick there. It's a mental thing, I know it is. But, when you're doing this kind of work, mental things get in the way or they help you out. Take your pick. You find the darndest things working in this yard. There is a whole series, oops, got it off, of boards down here and 2x4s bolted together. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I have no idea. All I know is they start out here and they keep going back underneath and through, or I guess you could say the honeysuckle has gone through the boards. So I have to get the honeysuckle out to get a shovel to dig the boards out, to get them out, because heaven forbid, I don't want one of those bolts going through the mower deck. Well, got an answer to our log question. Hear that? It's soft in the middle. So firewood it is. Alright. You can see that little ant right there. Right after I got this cut open, he crawled out. Get this to hold still, it's zoomed in, of this little hole right here, which tells me the reason that this sounds soft is it has an ant colony in it. Isn't that swell? Just what I wanted to find. Otherwise, the log is pretty solid, but the ant colony puts a weird damper on things, because who knows what I'm going to find as I get through it, because the other end is really soft, like the pry bar wants to sink into the side of it soft. So sadly, I don't know what kind of wood it is, but sadly it's firewood now. Maybe we can turn some of these smaller pieces on a lathe later, but for now it is what it is. Now, if you saw my chainsaw review, you'll remember I said this thing builds up gunk. Well, you can see what I mean, because this is one big chunk of gook. This is your sawdust, your chips, and the extra oil, all just kind of gummed up in there. So, obviously, it's cleaning, sharpening time. And if you really want to get the last little bits out, this is what I found works the best. Fairly inexpensive, washes all the oil out, everything looks like new. Well, we found a hollow. Nice and deep too. A little hard to see in there, but that goes probably 7-8 inches down. So I made the right choice. Well, quite a dent in there. And it is time to get some lunch. But you can see that pile of brush and logs is just about gone. This last downed tree is going to be a fun one, because it's mostly rotten. Loads of fun to cut rotten wood. So the trick's going to be to work my way around from the other side a little bit, open up on each side of it, and then go from there. But for now, it's time to eat. I'm hungry.